Okay. So, hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this week's AMA. As always, I'm pretty sure that this is the first. Yeah, okay. So it's the first AMA for October. Vamptober. I like that one, that guy. So, thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate all of you guys. It is a exciting month to say the least. And we're always happy to be here week in, week out, see all of you guys. Consistency in it, always, always. That's the way. I want to give a special shout out um, for all the vamps that I saw show up for the Twitter spaces yesterday and just kind of like hang out. They gave it a listen and, stuff like that. So one of the things that I do want to talk about first is kind of like the Lair TV, the reboot, and the Twitter Spaces yesterday, right? So essentially, we were so happy to see. I was so happy to see that there were a ton of familiar faces. A ton of the normal Vamp fam, and the Lair in the crowd yesterday in the Twitter Spaces, right? Oh, very nice, Bonzo. I'm happy about that. And was equally overjoyed and super happy to see new faces as well from uh, from the arcade fam as well, right? So, as a Twitter outreach program, right, the more we have attended, some things like this in the Twitter spaces, the more buzz we'll create, right? One thing I have been seeing since the last week or so ago is that we have been really ramping up our presence on Twitter, especially from the community and the lair. And I think honestly, it's been great, right? As we've seen, prices. As much as I don't like to talk about price and floor price, but um, it has reflected with price movements and things like this, right? So, every time I've seen and opened my Twitter this week, this day, I may not tweet that much. It's pretty busy, but I'm always seeing SVS stuff everywhere, right? And I love it, and it shows the effort that everyone puts in. And when we join the spaces like yesterday, when as I'm speaking along, the people who join are all SVS faces. So it's a super exciting and it's nice to see, and it creates a good baseline for growth going forward, right? So I hope that everyone enjoyed the Twitter spaces yesterday and I hope you guys will attend the next one. There's no real details I can give out yet about the next Twitter Spaces, but we are always actively speaking to other people and seeing who is willing to be able to come on and do like a Twitter Space and speak to Man Like 2D in conjunction with their own project. So this can be like founders, this could be projects, it could be anything really, right? So even if you guys may have ties to project or some people in the space, influential people in the space, always feel free to reach out. You can always let me know, Mars know, T know, Ryan know if they want to do anything like this. And I'm always more than happy to just show up and, talk a little bit and spread the word. So if you have any other suggestions as well about who you'd like us to see us, who you'd like to see Man Like 2D speak with for Lair TV, please do let us know, right? We love sharing our ideas and collaborating. And yes, for a small price of 500,000 blood, I can come to your child's birthday party and give him a proper vamp blessing. And next one's on you, Ryan, right?
Yeah, so the next thing is about the Pixel Vampresses. I know a lot of people have been anticipating them for a few weeks now, because we did mention over the last couple of AMAs that the Pixel Vampresses were ready, which they are, but I'm not sure exactly who it was that suggested this a couple of weeks ago, but they wanted the Pixel Vampresses to work slightly different to the vampires, being that when you sell or trade a normal Vampiress, the Pixel follows with it, which we thought was a really cool idea. One of the things we really didn't like about the vampires was almost the person who claimed it. Obviously, they would have both the pair, but then as soon as it was traded or sold, there's no way for the new owner really to ever get that pixel. which is not ideal at all. So for the Vampiresses, we want to handle it differently after this suggestion, and we definitely want to make that if it was possible. Freddie's been working hard in the lab to make this possible, and we actually had a call with Chainlink yesterday to see how we can use their services to make this happen as well, and we have found out that it is possible. So the way that it's going to happen is the Pixel Vampiresses will be able to be minted for free. So as the vampires cost 50 blood, the Pixel Vampiresses will cost you nothing. You'll be able to claim it, and then if you do trade or sell the Vampiress as well, the new owner will be able to get the Pixel. The Pixel Vampiress will follow the Vampiress, so you'll always have the pair. So it's a shame that this wasn't done with the vampires, really, as I do think this is a much better way for it to work. But that's why there's been the delay in the Vampiresses, because Freddy's still working on that. But when they do release, which will be very shortly, it will always be that the Vampiress Pixel and the normal Vampiress will always follow each other, and they'll stay as a pair, which I think is great, that you'll always be able to have the matching one. And if you do buy a new Vampiress, even after they've minted it, you will get the Pixel when you purchase it as well. So we'll provide more details over the next few days on exactly when that claim will happen, but it will be free, and you'll always be able to get the Pixel to match your Vampiress.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much, Ryan. Ryan, yeah. So essentially, Ryan dropped a big name there as well. Chainlink, chained together for life. So that's all on our big brain, big league developer Freddy side and all that. But yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to speak to and work with such notable large name projects within the crypto space, right? You know, Chainlink is like one of the biggest crypto projects in the space, right? I'm not sure if project is the right word, but they have one of the largest presence in the space. Oh fuck! Excuse my yawn. I'm sorry, guys. It's 4:30. Okay, so the next one is on the topic of the DAO snapshots. Okay, damn. One sec. Damn, I'm not bought. That's sick. Did you see this, Ryan? This GIF is
That is
crazy.
very
Did you
cool.
just make that? Damn, that's sick. I'm not bought. You're super talented, you know? Okay, so next topic is that of the DAO snapshot. So obviously in oh fuck, my screen crashed. Okay. Okay, so in a previous mode, in a previous post made by Thrall, you know, Thrall outlined the proper use for snapshots proposal, right? And he wrote the rules for this, right, Ryan, which we can share. There's a link to, I think we can share that, but essentially, you know, we're gonna link it below. It's in the announcements, but maybe we can put it in the chat as well. Maybe T or something can help us put it in the chat. But essentially, Thrall, in a previous post, he outlined the proper use and guide on how to be able to use the DAO efficiently, right? So please, you know, for everyone who is wanting to make use of this, please take a look at all the rules and see what Big Daddy Thrall has done, and please follow along, right? So essentially, the short summary of this and how this works in just a quick few lines is that, you know, it is the snapshot is to be used, you know, to direct how the DAO funds are spent and used, but not the direct operations and overall operations of the team as a whole, right? So it's just kind of good for everyone to be able to read and digest the rules, and then be able to understand the difference and how best you can make use of this going forward, right? You know, we request that everyone just, you know, reread all the qualifiers for proposals, and then do your best to stay within the realms of these qualifiers if you ever want them to be reported on, you know, because obviously we take all snapshots, we read through all of them, right? And then we take the ones that have done exceedingly well into serious context and account. But a quick outlier is that, you know, when we read them, we have to make sure we always check to make sure that they fall within the rules and the vicinity of these 6 points and the guidelines that Thrall has written for them, right? Thank you very much, Mars, for actually posting it in the chat. Not sure if you guys need me to read that one by one. I don't think it's necessary. But yes, please, if you guys are lazy, you know, you can just have a look at it in the chat now, scroll up. But Big Daddy Thrall worked very, very hard on this, and I think it's imperative that everyone shows the right amount of you know relevance to these rules. Also, before going to the next point, I'm not, but you're very talented and amazing, and thank you. If you hold both the Vamp and Pixel Vamp, he'll make you one of these gifts. I think I can't use the T word, but even though Theo said terrorize Twitter, these type of gifts and original content that people like I'm Not Bot and other community members are making, I think do great for kind of expanding our reach and showing what is possible, putting it out there, right? Because it looks good, it's catchy, and I think storming stuff like this all over Twitter does help us boost our presence as well, And thank you so much. I'm Not Bot.
Yeah, and then the last
You're
point for this week is perhaps the most important one. I know since the two events back in June, especially those who were unable to attend either of them, have been excited that we've always said we were planning a huge Halloween event. As 2D just mentioned, over the past week or so, since it's turned to October, we know everyone's been spamming the tweets and the images and things like that with it being Halloween, which is great. It really has expanded the reach. I've seen more tweets over the last few days and in the last few weeks, which is great. But one of the things that people did mention last week, especially when we've been discussing the locations for the potential Halloween event, is how many people are actually going to be able to attend. Obviously, back in June, we had about 100 people at both the London and the New York event, and the 100 or so people that did attend them really loved it. But then again, there are obviously many more hundreds or even thousands of people who own an SVS who would never be able to attend one of these events. So one of the suggestions that we did have, which quite a few of the active community members agree with, is that instead of an IRL event, we should perhaps have something more virtual, and that could even span across a few days or a week, or perhaps a few different events during October. Everyone's been over Twitter already, and October really is the month of the Vamps, so this is definitely something that we could do, which would be a lot more inclusive for everybody. We've already been brainstorming some ideas of virtual things we can do, even if this was alongside a real life event as well, so that those who can't attend could at least do something, and there would be a lot going on for the Vamps during October in general. It is quite a tricky situation because obviously wherever we did decide the location to be, whether that was New York or LA or somewhere in Europe like London again, those who could attend would obviously much prefer it to be a real life event. But then those who would never be able to attend one would prefer there to be a virtual one so that they can at least have something and engage. I know during June people were asking for live streams and pictures and videos and things like that, just so that even if they couldn't attend, they could at least see what was going on and pretend as if they were there. So what we are going to do is we're going to put out a snapshot, an official one later tonight, just to get people's ideas and votes on what they think about a real life event versus a virtual one. Like I mentioned, obviously people who could attend a real life one would prefer that, but it's also depending on this bear market. Obviously a real life event has a lot of costs associated with it, so if only minimal people would be able to attend and it is such a large cost, perhaps something more virtual where lots more people can attend would be better. Obviously with a virtual event as well, we can promote that all over Twitter and even get non-vamps, purchasing in or something like that to be able to attend. We have been thinking of how a virtual event could go down over the last few days, because if we did do anything virtual, we don't want it to be something boring where people just run around in a metaverse for a few minutes, get bored, and then leave. We would want it to be something that was very interactive, with prizes, games, and even, like I said, over several days. So I know this is going to be very split between people, which is why we do want to post an official snapshot for people to vote what they think about a real life event and a virtual event. And obviously, if you do have thoughts of this, be sure to DM one of us or leave them in the Lair or in the community suggestions. Because obviously we do want to get people's ideas. Like we mentioned earlier with the Pixel Vampiresses, we've put them on hold because of a community suggestion of having them follow the original. So as we've always done all along, the community suggestions are what fuel a lot of our ideas, and we really want to listen to them. So depending on what the majority of people think, we're always open to bending our ideas and seeing exactly how we can satisfy the most people. Because like we said, we wouldn't want to use a lot of the DAO funds, which could be used for other things, if minimal people would be able to attend a real life event. I know with it being October now already, it's only a few weeks away from Halloween, so travel arrangements, accommodation, flights, and things for people to get to a certain location could be tricky. So it could be that a virtual event is better for a lot of people. So we definitely want to hear this feedback, and be sure to check out the snapshot proposal later today to see what you think about it.
Thank you, Ryan. Ryan, I must say, for a sick man, that was very coked up of you. It's very quick, efficient. Thank you, Ryan. But essentially, yes. Essentially, we are planning to be able to do a metaverse event, right? Did you see the chat, Ryan? MJM and our others want to do a Zoom party.
We could definitely
I
do
think,
that. Are you
yeah, I
turning the
think the,
camera on?
who, me?
Yeah.
I don't own a camera for my computer, but I can join from my phone.
Sounds like
I
a
mean,
plan.
my face has been seen, right? I also actually, this is an update that is not being posted in the like actual fucking updates for the thing, but I have just received some news earlier today, which I forgot to mention. So the actual event that we attended in Bali, they're just like a bit slow with the footage and stuff like that. But I have managed to um, collect footage separately from some people and videographer that I brought, and I think I have it today. And then I think, Ryan, we can just send it over to Hayden probably tomorrow or the day after once I put it up on a Google Drive. And then my biggest fear will come true, where it will be videos of me speaking up on a large stage in front of posted online. But yeah, hopefully that does some stuff as well and adds more validity
It'll give
and
Theo some more things to
exposure.
tweet about as well, which is good. Theo goes
Yep.
crazy on Twitter.
Yeah, I see it every day, everywhere. So, but I do think a metaverse event, since we are an NFT-based project, should be quite fun. Um, I see quite a lot of people calling for like a Zoom party type thing,
How about we do
which
a
I think,
Zoom party with how many people, everyone opening their SVS champagne at the same time? We
oh,
can
that
just
would
all
be
get
very,
drunk
very
on
fun.
Zoom.
Oh, that would be very, very fun. It would be a bit lethal, though. We need a pretty big camera for ready to fit in, you know. But yes. So I think could we get some ideas in the chat? You guys would be
Theo just raised
down.
his hand as well, so I've got him up.
Should we do that before
Yeah, we can do that.
the questions?
Yeah, I can speak now or after. I have no problem. Just came back from hospital. You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
How
you.
was work?
Perfect. First of all, I would like to congratulate everyone. Like the last 7 days, Twitter has gone bananas completely. As you've seen, we have hit high score in like every sector of this NFT inspect thing that our friend Roboflex showed us. So huge kudos to everybody. I'm super proud of everyone that finally we start flexing our vamps and start having fun with our vamps, which is like the main thing in my point of view of all this endeavor. And yeah, and I just want to say kudos to the team that is working hard. Kudos to everybody that is tweeting. And as I see like this whole situation, the next goals that we should attack, it's like merch and probably the game. This is like the two things that I think it's missing from our community. And I think if we keep on tweeting and keep on showing that we're having fun, because we are having fun and we are pretty cool guys, like our project will finally reach its point. Because when I see our floor price and everything, I don't understand. Like our project, I think like the floor should be at least 9 ETH because we are like really cool people and our art is cool and you are working hard. And I think it's like we're gonna have fun and in the end it's gonna be and everyone will be happy. Yeah. You
Okay,
hear me?
perfect. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, just when you finish speaking, thank you, Theo, for all the work and the effort that you have put in. I do see it all. We do appreciate all of it. I do think that there are a couple things that we can work on. Actually, this is probably something that I was uh, not really meant to mention or clear to mention, but since joining crypto space and going around here and there, and across the last bull market, I have made some very, very good friends in the Twitter space. Some of them know a lot of other people in a lot of high places, and actually, I was texted about a kind of like a large gaming company that wanted to work and partner with SVS. So this guy's a personal friend of mine. I guess large to an extent, like they build games, cool games and shit, and they kind of wanted to like port some SVS stuff over. So my friend just like introduced me to them directly because they requested to speak to SVS, and I know him personally. So he just said like he knows me, blah blah blah, and then I added the others in. So that's something that we are pursuing now, and hopefully they do want to run like a partnership campaign type thing. This was not related to last night's spaces, no Bonzo. It's a like different kind of company and stuff like that. Safe. So it's
Yes.
completely different. So hopefully, when kind of like Web3, Web2 companies are a little bit finicky and a little bit difficult sometimes to come to a quick conclusion, but it is something that I'm going to be like pushing heavily, and hopefully we can do something cool and port SVS over, because they do want to run a campaign, separate campaign, especially just for SVS. Can't really say anything more than that, but hopefully it all works out sooner rather than later, and then we can have more exciting news to push out.
Yes, perfect. That's excellent news. And it's funny that you mentioned because my best friend, he's a CEO in the Takeda here in Athens. And he's like all about managing and making profits and hitting targets. This is why I'm like, my mind works a little bit with numbers. So I talked to him, like, if he wants to help us, and he's like more than happy to help us, you know? He's like my best friend. So if you need any help or any, advice from like a legitimate CEO, that guy that makes like a lot of money for free, just feel free, hit me a DM, and I will be happy to meet you. He's like pretty good guy, but he's a gigolo. So if you have a sister, you have to take care because he's gonna take money from your sister. So yeah, that's that's with my Zigolo best friend, CEO.
Interesting guy, that guy. What an interesting life
Yes.
that guy lives. But thanks, Theo. I definitely will be in touch if we need anything, and I appreciate all the effort you do. So, Ryan, I don't think we have any more hands up, right? So we can just go straight to the rest of the
We do
questions.
have one hand, but we'll just quick fire a few of the questions we've seen from the Lair first, and then see if there's anyone else before we close up.
Okay, okay, perfect.
So the first question is, will there be any giveaways or gifts for Halloween?
So yes, without saying too much, but we do have a lot of stuff planned for October or Vamptober, as I've seen some of the boys and girls in the lair call it, and we do have quite a lot in store for Halloween. We're trying to just, for lack of better words, make the absolute most out of this. Bang bang, Mars. We see, where your mind goes these days. No shampoo bottles this October. So um, with October and Halloween, we just want to be able to milk. I don't know if milk is the right word, but we want to get as much out of this month as humanly possible or inhumanly possible, and be able to create as much content and hype and environment, and really invigorate our community feeling uh, for you guys and for everyone in general. Okay, next question is for Ryan. Ryan, when will Fred stop sleeping and drop the Pixel Vampiresses?
Yeah, so we did touch on this before, but I'll just go over it again. The Pixel Vampiresses are ready, and I believe Freddie's been working on the system to make the Pixel follow the original Vampiress, and that's almost ready as well. We did have a call with Chainlink yesterday, which was just finalizing a few things, as we'll be using them for the sort of following mechanism. So expecting an update over the next few days, and we want to get them to everyone as soon as possible. So simply look out for an announcement, and when they're ready, everyone will be able to claim. Again, this will be for no blood. So unlike the vampires, which is 50 blood, you'll simply be able to claim your free pixel Vampress.
Perfect. Thank you, Ryan.
The next question is: have we decided what to do with our sandbox land? Are we considering building on it?
Okay. So if some of you guys may or may not know, I'm just gonna get through this quickly. We have a 3x3 estate in case any of you guys who are new here, maybe from yesterday, we have a 3x3 estate plot on Sandbox. We originally had like a lair being planned to be built on it, but we had some issues with the builders and we got ghosted, blah 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 blah. So right now we have not decided what to do with our land completely yet. Whether we are or we are not building anything new on it right now is kind of something that we're having internal discussions with and on, especially with other parties. And if you guys have any other ideas or suggestions, you can make use of the layer or snapshot, and then we can go from there. Next question for Ryan is, will there ever be another champagne drop? Maybe beer or other alcohol?
Yeah, so this is a question we have had for a while as well. Obviously, with the first edition champagne, we really wanted this to be a collector's edition, where obviously you had to hold a vamp to be able to get one, and we loved the way it went down with the Chalice collection. Ever since the beginning, we have been talking with Shami, the champagne connoisseur, as well, on how we could orchestrate a second drop if we wanted to, especially if this opened up slightly. It would be cool if we could see the champagne, in some venues, some clubs, or things like that, or especially where it could expand our reach, where SVS wasn't just an NFT project. This really would solidify the SVS brand into champagne as well. So right now we're obviously still very focused on the first one. Obviously everybody has their bottles secured via the Chalice. And they're able to claim them whenever they want. So right now there isn't any sort of second drop or anything in the works, but this is definitely something that down the line we can explore. It's definitely something that's very much on the cards and very possible into getting a sort of second edition champagne. Obviously the first edition will always be the most limited. Everyone's already got their bottles reserved, so there won't really be any way anyone can get a bottle apart from purchasing a chalice or winning a giveaway that we might have. There may be chance for you to get your hands on a bottle over Halloween, especially from some that we had reserved. But if there was to be a second drop down the line, that would definitely be a way where we can sort of open it up and do a sort of less limited edition run, where your first bottles would almost even become more valuable from that. The next question is, can we get a 2D Vamp review of the champagne? Maybe Freddy too, if he's alive. A video similar to the Plushy Max video would go great for Twitter.
Yes, so okay. I think this is a banger idea. Twitter is kind of like, I think, the most important way to succeed. And kind of like to push our name out there. Unfortunately, man, like 2D. Oh,
Unfortunately,
hello,
you do not
Skelula.
drink.
Correct, Skelula. I interrupted my own sentence to say hi to man like Skelula. So unfortunately, man like 2D does not drink. But fortunately, one of my
Freddy
best
does.
friends, Ryan, also one of my best friends, Ryan, is an avid alcohol and
Oh, not sure about that.
champagne enjoyer.
Okay, I'll do you a
Enjoyer.
deal. If you buy me a bottle of Dom Perignon and I can taste the two side by side, then I'll do it.
Sure, but you gotta film it. I'll pay for the bottle. Can I pay in
Sure.
crypto?
Okay, sure.
Sure.
I'll do it live
Sounds
on the
cool.
Halloween Zoom.
Oh, okay, that sounds lovely. So, that sounds great. And then, but yes, 2D will do a review slash infomercial. It seemed that you guys really kind of enjoyed like the funny, joking type infomercial content, where we get like some simple edits happening. We can get Fred to throw a few tidbits in there, although that might be the only tidbits that Freddie does since he eats whole meals. But yes, Ryan is a great drinker. I do agree.
I do not think I could possibly agree with the word great.
Well, I mean great drinker in the sense that I've been around Ryan a lot when he's intoxicated and we still have a good time even though I'm completely sober. So Ryan is a great drinker. Not sure if I can say the same about Mr. Frederick. Since apparently the mass becomes very real when he's drunk. Okay, so
Ask
next
Caramelon
question.
for a review of that one.
Yeah, maybe should we tell them how Fred got locked in the corner of the box?
We almost got charged because he fucking broke everything.
Yeah, Freddy got locked behind fucking some some fucking like they locked him behind a rope in the corner of the venue. This man was a bit too wasted, and he turned around a bit too quickly, and his obscene ass broke a few glasses. Okay. Next question for Ryan. We should definitely consider a virtual event for Halloween. It will mean anybody can attend no matter where they are located. It will be more inclusive for all vamps, can promote big on Twitter, and will save DAO funds during this ever-present bear market.
Yeah, so I'm not sure who put this question, but they basically summed it up pretty well. Like I touched on earlier, obviously a real life event is great for those who can attend, and a real life event for those who can come is almost always going to be better than a virtual event, in my opinion. But the way that a virtual event would go would mean, we can slap it all over Twitter, we can promote it for almost weeks before, we can even get some non-vamps in attendance, spread the word of the vamps over Halloween. October really is the month for the vamps, so this could be a great way to get some outreach as well. Obviously, it will be cheaper as well, so the DAO funds could potentially be better used. Rather than on an event that only few people can attend, they could be used on something actually for everyone in the project. So there's obviously pros and cons for both. And again, this is why we'll be posting a snapshot later today to gather people's thoughts on how a real life event could go down versus a virtual one. So we definitely want to hear people's feedback over the next few days. In the background, we've been working on both. Obviously, over the last few months, we always expected it to be a real life event, so we have plans in preparation for that. But also, since the talk of a virtual event, we've been thinking how we can make that go down the best as well. We don't want it to be a letdown if it was virtual. We definitely want to do something different where everyone can, attend, everyone can interact with it. We can do prizes, competitions, the Zoom, like we mentioned, maybe something like that to really make sure everybody can get in attendance. So we'll post an announcement later today with the full details on almost how both types of event could go down, and then we'd love to hear everyone's feedback on that. The next question is, are there any updates on Book Nerd's recent proposal? I believe this is the sandbox one, so 2D did touch on it earlier, but if we've got any extra for that.
Yes. So we had a meeting and we spoke with the builders, that we got put in contact with them yesterday. All credit goes to T, Freddie, and Ryan. I was not able to attend the meeting because it was at some very late hour and I felt like I was dying. But yes, and essentially we're trying to get in contact with Sandbox right now, since this process involves working with them very closely to be able to promote the game, right? Overall, it involves a lot for us to think about and consider, especially with the current market conditions. And with the maximum of 10 ETH, it's a big spend when we want to think about it. So it's definitely something that we will be considering. And if anyone else has an input, please feel free to welcome. So, and before I go on to the next question, Ryan, you see all these bottles of Dom in the chat?
I really do. I feel like everyone's more of a champagne drinker than me.
So you see Sneaky, is that
Wait,
special Sneaky Vampire 8, the one above Sneaky Vampire 888? Are those special ones? I see like vintage 2006. That looks expensive, eh? Vintage 2005, vintage 2006. Damn. Okay. Looks like he's got Rick has vintage 2010. Ryan, can you drop some of your
I just found the picture now. I'll definitely take the SVS one any day though.
Oh, this photo's a banger. This is vintage 2006 one, very, very expensive. It looks very expensive.
Yeah, you bought me that one, thank you.
The top left, yeah?
Yeah, for my birthday.
Oh shit, it's
thank
vintage 2006 as well. I forgot about that one. Yeah, I remember the Lady Gaga dome. Does it get like it's fine to just sit there on the shelf?
That's not really the ideal place to store it, but I mean,
It looks good, so who
probably
cares,
won't
right?
take too long till I drink it, so it'll be
The
fine.
SVS one is very nice. What's this? What's so special about this middle Moet?
Oh, that's Off-White Virgil one. Rest in peace to Virgil. He's dead. But I don't think I'll be opening that one.
You have to say it like that. Yeah, man's dead. Well, Freddy's probably dead soon. Also, anyway, last question for Ryan. Is what are the team's thoughts on the new OpenSea rarity ranking?
Oh yeah, so there was a lot of talk about this in the Lair yesterday, and I believe it was MJM who made a proposal. So unless people don't know, OpenSea have released a new rarity ranking, almost their own one, which is where you can toggle this on or off in OpenSea, and it will show the rarity rankings. Obviously, there are pros and cons of this, which MJM did put out in his proposal. So if you haven't seen the proposal on Snapshot already, be sure to head over. Um, but essentially, this will increase visibility in OpenSea because those people will be able to see the rarity directly on OpenSea. So it may lead to increased sales because people might see underpriced rare ones. Um, so definitely, well, I'm not going to go through the whole proposal because you can check it out, and please be sure to vote. But there are definitely things that are good and bad about it. One of the cons would be that the rarity rankings might change. Ever since the beginning, we've always been using likes of Rarity Tools and Rarity Sniper for the rarity, and they use a slightly different mechanism to rank the rarity. For example, if you had one really rare trait but the rest of the common traits, Rarity Sniper allow for this, and you will get a slightly higher ranking because you have one of the traits that's really rare. However, the way OpenSea work it may mean that your rarity drops a bit. So if we do toggle this on, it will mean that rarities might change a little bit. And one way that people did mention in the Lair as well, which is right, with the blood bags as well. Obviously, the top 10% of rarity get additional blood, so this might slightly change things if we do use the OpenSea rarity over Rarity Tools and Rarity Sniper. Personally, I do think the OpenSea one is much better. It is a sort of industry standard way, if that's how people are going to be using them. A lot of the large projects have already toggled this on, and they're using the OpenSea one as their rarity, and I do think that is a lot better with it being built into OpenSea. And obviously, if every project was to adopt that, then that is the industry standard rarity tool. But obviously, people might be upset if they've paid X amount of ETH for a rare one via the Rarity Sniper and Rarity Tools rankings, and that drops a bit, then obviously they won't be too pleased. So be sure to head over to the snapshot and show your votes. I know so far it's almost 100% for that people think we should use the OpenSea one, and personally I agree. But if you do have any thoughts on this, be sure to leave them in the Lair and the community suggestions as well, and we'll be sure to consider those before we think about whether we're going to toggle this on or not.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ryan. And I think that's surprising. Actually, we ended up covering pretty much all the questions. Somehow we always say every week that the AMAs are going to be so quick and blah blah blah, but then we ended up taking our sweet time and hanging out with you guys for a whole hour almost, which is very exciting. I think we have a couple hands up we can quickly go through, right, before we
Yeah,
call
I
it a
just
day.
brought Deathwing up, and then we'll get the last hand as well before we wrap it up. Should be good timing.
Not bad, Ryan. Sick, Ryan.
Thank you, thank you. Hello, Deathwing.
Thank you. Very good, very nice. Hello, Deathwing. Ah, I think I have inherited the deaf part of your name. Just don't seem to be able to hear you. Ah, Deathwing has become muted wing now.
I've just invited up Skion as well.
Hello,
so maybe...
hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
I was just wondering if you guys would be open to a marketing proposal.
Sort of thing. Is it a
I
fully
work
written?
I work for Upturn Agency. I don't know if you've heard of us, but I was wondering if
have
I could
not.
get into like a private chat with one of you.
Yep. So could you please just DM Mars or T, and then they will set up a Discord group and add us all, and then we could just talk there.
Sounds great. I'll add my founders as well.
Yeah, if you can
Yep.
just send me some info, that would be great. We can get it going.
Yep. T will set up a group with all of us, and then you can add people from your side, and we can just explore whatever options are available.
You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming up.
Of course.
Yeah, speak soon. Thank you very much. Okay. Hello,
Check.
Deathwing. Oh, we can hear you now.
Hey, what's going on? I was muted wing for a while there.
Yeah.
No, I just
yeah.
wanted to come up and say hi. I haven't spoken to you guys in a long time.
Yeah, I know. I remember. I will never forget that thing. From over a year ago to the derivatives contest. Always, man. Yeah, nice to see you. It's been a while, but it's always
Yeah, I
nice to
know.
see familiar faces, know,
Yeah. Well, I have a second reason, and I'm tooting my own horn because, as a lot of you know, I lost my vamps before. So as of the last 15 minutes, I'm back in it. I just got a mini crown cyborg combo, so I'm super happy because those were essentially the two vamps that I lost was one mini crown and one cyborg. So I'm just really
congrats.
happy with that. Let's go.
Congrats, man. Let's go. Can we get some hearts and claps in the chat for Deathwing? Man is back in.
Finally back in. All right, guys. Thank you so much. That's it. Stay awesome.
Thanks so much, man. See you soon.
I've messaged you, T, by the way.
Okay, perfect. It's really late for me here, Sion. It's almost 5 a.m. So I'll
Yeah,
probably
no
just
worries.
read the messages when I get up tomorrow. But definitely T will arrange everything, and then we'll speak to you guys in private soon. No worries.
Sounds amazing. Thank you. Have a great
Thank you
night.
so much. Okay, so everyone, I think that's it for today. What was meant to be a quick AMA turned out to be an hour, but at the end of the day, it's nothing more enjoyable than spending my Wednesday nights at 4 a.m. with all of you guys. And we definitely will be kicking things up a notch. Maybe do this doxed Zoom party. I think it'd be a bit of a mad one, but it should be fun. But thanks everyone for tuning in. So happy to see so many familiar faces. We love you guys as always. And on that note, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.